Let's take a look at the user interface in 3ds Max. So right at the top here we have our menu bar, and the name is pretty self-explanatory as to what lies inside these menus. I think the first one is the most important, which is File. So in this menu we have access to creating a new project, opening previous projects, saving our projects, as well as importing and exporting objects into our scene. So below that is our main toolbar, and in here lies quite a few important buttons. So the first set is our move, rotate and scale buttons, which are right here. We also have our snapping tools. Next to that is our selection sets, and off to the right here we have a couple of menus that are quite important, such as our render setups, material editors, graph editor, and our scene explorer as well. Below that is our ribbon menu. So this menu is a contextual menu, which means that it changes based on what we have selected in the scene. So to demonstrate this, if I click this box in my scene, you'll notice that now I have access to all these different functions that I didn't have access to before. Off to the left, we have our Viewport Layout tab. So this is where I can quickly change to different viewport layouts. And you will notice every time I change a viewport layout, the previous layout gets saved in this bar here, so I can quickly access that later. This menu here is called our Scene Explorer. This will contain everything in our scene in a list view. Right now it's set to or sorted by hierarchy. I can change that based off layers just by clicking this button here. I can also change what is shown in this panel just by opening up this drop down and changing to what I see fit. Right in the middle here is our viewport, and this is where we're going to navigate, move and manipulate all our objects in. To the right of this is called our command panel. So the first tab in the command panel is called Create. Anything that we're looking to make, such as shapes, lights, cameras, or helpers, will be under this tab. The next tab is called our Modifier tab, and in here we can apply any modifiers to our object. We can also delete modifiers if we wanted to. And this is where we're going to edit this object, or the object we have selected, at a sub-object level in these menus here. Next is our Hierarchy tab. So this is where we're going to be dealing with pivots, IKs, and any sort of link hierarchy. Over is our Motions tab. So this is where we have our animation controls in, as well as our motion paths. Next is our Display tab. It's where we can quickly hide and unhide objects in our scene, such as geometry, shapes, cameras and helpers. And the last tab is our Utilities tab. So in here will contain pretty much anything that doesn't fit in these tabs that are more miscellaneous tools. We can press More, and that'll open up a little menu that shows us all the other utilities nested in here. So below, running across the whole interface, is our track bar. This is our timeline slider, and any keyframing we do for animations will be nested in here. On the far right we have our navigation controls. To the left of that, we have our playback controls as well as keyframing as well. Over here, we have our coordinates of whatever object or thing we have selected. So if I click this box here, you can see that it has these coordinates in 3D space. And to the left of that, we have our isolation. So if we have more than one objects in the scene, we can isolate to make it easier to look at, and we can click the button again to exit isolation. The little lock button is just to lock the selection. And over to the left of that is our scripting area. So any sort of max scripting that we want to do will be done here. You can right click, open up the editor window and do some scripting.